Hello, my acting class. How are you all doing today? I want to apologize that I'm not there in person and I won't be there for a while in person. I am so sorry. I do truly apologize about this. I am taking care of myself, my physical health right now, but I'm so excited to still be able to present to you and be able to watch you over Zoom. So I will be showing you a lot of videos of myself each week. And on Wednesdays, we will have our work period online on Wednesdays to do any other projects, ask me questions, etc. But I will be giving you some lectures here and activities to do on all these Mondays. And if you do have any questions, I will also provide you my cell phone number for an easier, faster response, or you can type in the Zoom chat. But I will give you my cell phone number so you can it's quicker and easier to text me over rather than email and whatnot. I will have my phone, a boom, a text will be fast. So look out for that. Also, I will be teaching you today, again, a lesson, and then we will go into some activities and some things that you can work on. First and foremost, I do want to share my screen because I was getting some emails about not knowing where to submit the neutral scene A and B reflections as well. So if you can, in your audiobooks, to go and submit for the audiobook reflections, you can submit that there as well, like as your file and a document giving me a reflection about your audiobook. And then also, I just recently posted, so I want to make sure that you can all see it. Safari here, share the screen. Bam. So in here where I go, it says new submissions and whatnot, new folders and assignment folders. I just recently added here at the bottom, as you can see, neutral scene A and B. It is at a 15:10 for neutral scene A and 5 for neutral scene B. And that's incorporating with your reflections. So submit your reflections there. I obviously watched your presentations, but submit your reflections there. So that's where I can grade your marks. So that will be for that. And I will stop share. So again, that is in the assignments folder. So even though you submitted emails to me, everyone, and I appreciate that, please make sure you go. I gave you some time where you can now go to neutral scene A and B in the assignments folder and submit your reflections there. Okay. Hopefully you did it as one document. If not, just submit as many documents as you can or put it into one document, neutral scene A, neutral scene B, and submit. Alrighty, if you have any questions right now, feel free to write them down first before you ask anything. Write down your questions, okay? And then at the end of this, you can message me personally and we can talk about your questions. Alrighty, so I'm gonna stop my share here for that. And now everyone, keeping your pencils and your notebook or laptop or whatever you have out, I need you to start to take notes. We are going to do a little lecture right now, just to talk about acting, understand it a little bit before we go into our next projects and stuff that we will be doing, okay? So let us first, I'm going to go back actually and share my screen so we can all see what our next project is first. One moment. Writing down questions of anything you have right now first. I'm going to now go like this. 1 second. One moment. Hello again, everyone. I'm going to share my screen one more time just to show you. So here, if you go back into content, and you can always, again, rewind and watch this video again in class if all of you want to pause and rewind and see something, or on your own time, you have this link for you. I will show you here. When you go to the Brightspace here at Centennial College, and if you go to content, you click content for this next project, right? And you're going to go down and I click assessment and evaluation. Okay. And then you go into that and you can see some of these different projects. For example, if you want to click a project, the Uta Hagen podcast, which is our next one, but we're not actually creating a podcast right now. We because we already did our audiobook and our neutral scene. But what you're going to do with this is we already learned about the Uta Hagen 9 questions, right? And you will answer these 9 questions, not in a podcast, but you will do it in a scrapbook. And you're going to refer to the character that you created either in your neutral scene, or you could do it in the one that you're going to do for a scene study if you want to create a new character, or you can do it for the character that you chose for your audiobook. But whichever character you are choosing, it has to be either from the neutral scene, from your audiobook, or it has to be from a character that you're going to do in a scene study, which we can talk more about later. But I think it'd be easier right now for you to do one of the characters in your neutral scene, one of them, or do one from your audiobook, just one character. And you're answering the 9 Uta Hagen questions in a scrapbook that's dedicated to that character. And what's great about this is you're going to show your personality. You're going to show cool ideas of what you can create to make this character's life, okay, in those 9 questions. Adding, you can take out magazine things, you can print out pictures, you can draw things, you can add certain files like watch this on YouTube if you make a link or make something. And you don't even have to make a full physical scrapbook. You can also make something fun online to submit, which is actually something I more encourage all of us. That way we don't have to go buy materials and waste money. I think it'd be cool if online we can create a slideshow scrapbook. We could create a movie and add certain fun effects to it, whatever it may be for you, okay, that you want to present as some type of portfolio of a character that you create, one character, okay? So one character, it could be from your neutral scene, it could be from your audio file, or it could be from a scene study that we're going to do, but we haven't really introduced those characters yet. So why don't we refrain from that and create from what you did in either the neutral or either the neutral one or the audiobook. Or if you really, really want, email me. And if you want to do it on a brand new character and create the 9 Uta Hagen question scrapbook for a random character that you're passionate about that you want to do, then make it. Okay. And things you can include again are when you're answering the 9 Uta Hagen questions, answer all of them, but add certain fun elements to it. Add, like, if it's a slideshow, make it a cool animated thing, show some images, show some fun little magazine cutouts or whatever you want to make it creative to answer those questions. And you have total freedom with them as long as you're answering 9 questions. And again, something I really want to reference is the more resources you use, the better. Okay, so we want to see this. I want to see that you are thinking outside the box. Maybe you put in a music file. Maybe you put in a little video clip of something. Maybe you videotape yourself doing something in the character. Maybe you add certain images that keep flashing. Maybe anything you want. You could do this on PowerPoint. You can make a movie. You can make just like random documents answering the questions with certain things. Whatever you want, you have freedom. Okay, as long as you're answering the 9 Uta Hagen questions towards one character. Okay, and that's here, and we can submit that later. Sorry about the noise. Now, what we are going to do, so that's here, and that's something as well you can submit when you go to, oh, sorry about this noise, when you go to, one second. Where is the folders? But you know where it is, right? Or, sorry, assessments, right? Then you go assignments, click assignment, and then bam, Uta Hagen scrapbook right there. You click it, then you submit it. Boom. So I hear that someone already submitted something, but please submit your neutral scenes, everyone, in the other folder. So if we go back here, you can submit it here in neutral scene A and neutral scene B. Also, for everyone, audiobooks, whoever didn't upload their audiobooks, please make sure you do. And we're always constantly editing our actors log. This is very important. So yeah. Now, everyone, I am going to stop my share and I'm going to share something else now because we are going to go into a lesson. Let me go to my screen. I'm going to go share screen again. Here we go. Safari, share my screen, open it up, and voila. Okay, everyone. So today in this lesson, our learning objections are we are going to explain. So take out your notebooks and please write this down. We're going to explain the differences between acting in everyday life and acting in a performance. So we're going to identify the key differences between presentational and representational acting and discussing how each appears in different times and cultures. Describe the typical journey actors undertake in their training and preparation. We're going to discuss the similarities and differences between acting for the stage and acting for the camera. So this is from a great book, chapter 9 on actors. It is phenomenal. I suggest I can put this as a link later on for us to go see. But this is what it says. Although everyone acts, acting for the stage involves more than just mere imitation. It requires interpretation and awareness of being watched, stage presence, and control. So writing these things down just for our memory. How one defines acting can depend on the context, right? So what are we acting for? How are we acting? Are we acting for an interview? Are we acting for a play? Are we acting for a musical? Are we acting for a dance performance? How are we acting? Acting can be divided into two types again. It's presentational, which is common in classical traditions, and also representational, which is more recent, which can be a combination of the two. Okay, so presentational or representational, where you're representing something. Stanislavski's acting technique involving such concepts as objectives and emotional memory have become the most commonly utilized for representational acting. So that is what it is, to representing something from your past or from something that has happened in the past year. You are being that person. Alternatives to Stanislavski's method include pour theater, interculturalism, the Suzuki method, and viewpoints. So let's talk about some key concepts. The actor's production process often begins with the audition, moving through rehearsals, from blocking to technical rehearsals to the actual performance. So that's what happens your journey when you're doing in this acting career, right? You go to an audition, you get accepted, hopefully, you move into rehearsals where you work and forever, and then you go to the stage where you block it right on the stage instead of the rehearsal process. Now you're doing it on the stage, and then you also have technical rehearsals, and then with lighting and other technical elements, and then you perform. Acting for the stage is considerably different than acting for the camera. Training is not necessary to become an actor, but is quite essential for classical theatrical traditions. So it's important that we are educated in acting so we can understand the theater. Yes, some people are born actors, right? We all kind of are, where we act in our own certain way to do everything in life, right? We act and anyways, right? We can act sad, right? When we're which is also a feeling, right? We're feeling sad when something happens. So this time we're acting, or when we are happy or wanting to be around our friends, we're acting sociably, right? So we're always acting. However, in theater, it's important that we have this training so we can understand theatrical traditions, understand the theater, understand some certain technology or terminology for us to be more educated when we are performing. And although no two actors' experiences will be the same, an actor's life is very difficult and demanding. It's a lot to do. Actors are central to theater and existed long before there were playwrights, directors, producers, etc. The word thespian, a term for actors, comes from Thespis, the first to step forth from the chorus line in Greek tragedy. So write that down, the word thespian, right? It's a term for actors. That's what we are. Thespians, Thespian, thespian. So actors, mimes, imitation, showing action, that's theater and acting, right? So when you're using your body language, when you're imitating someone, right? That's what you're acting like. When you're doing actions and performing them, you're literally embodying another idea, noun, person, place, or thing, right? And here, as we can see, for example, in this photo, look at this man. He's at his desk. He's acting as if he's People are probably giving me answers. Great. And then over here, look, we see a boxer in the back. These people seem like they're all like, what's happening? They're waiting at the doctor's office or something, right? This is Digestus narration, the telling of action, this American life. Competing definitions. Aristotle, acting is the imitation, mimesis of action. What the audience sees is not happening, but also not happening. What a funny sentence there. What do you think that means? Take a moment to reflect for yourselves, talk about it. And now let's talk about today. There are two main styles of acting. Again, there's representational, which is external, or presentational, which is external out to the audience, and representational, which is internal, like how we represent as that, how we feel it. Presentational acting is the presenting of a character, not the representing of a character. Actors present physical cues to the audience as a means of characterization. So here we can see French actor Benoit Constant Conklin is considered a master of presentational acting. Presentational acting, acts from the outside in, was the primary style of performance from ancient Greece until the mid to late 1700s. So here we can see in May 10th, 1849, a riot broke out in New York City when two actors, British William Charles Macready left and Edwin Forrest, were both playing Macbeth. Macready performed with a restrained representational style. Forrest played the part loudly, aesthetically, and bombastically, presentationally. Lots of people were super angry about both. Acting presentational. Presentational acting, non-realism, presents reality. Often it implies, or out of right states, an awareness of such represent a relationship to the audience. Challenges the audience to accept and participate in the reality of what they are seeing in spite of purposely non-realistic action and design. Representational acting. As theater shrunk, presentational acting began to fall out of favor. So as theater became more egalitarian and women began to have agency as actors, presentational acting fell out of favor. So here, Konstantin Stanislavski is considered the father of modern acting and revolutionized the theater world when he created a method of representational acting based on a psychological truth. Representational acting is realism, so represents reality. The audience is treated as voyeuristic. Audience accepts what they are seeing as reality, aided by realistic action and design. So let's look at the difference, representation versus presentation. So if you're kind of confused and you had questions, let's look and see it now. What are some productions or production styles that you can identify as presentational? And then what are some productions or production styles that you can identify as representational? Don't answer this right now. Just keep this in the back of your head. Think of this. And if you're still confused, we will talk about this because they kind of both seem similar, don't they? Let's go. So again, when we talk about, though, presentational acting, it's like non-realism. It's just presenting something. It can be dramatic, and it can be like we're just presenting an idea, whereas representational is where you are truthfully believing, you are in it. The audience is truthful to what you are performing. They believe what you're saying in a way. So Stanislavski and realism, he was born in 1863 to 1938, develops the system of acting, co-funds the Moscow Art Theater with Vladimir, it's hard last name, in 1898. MAT is considered the most important theater company in the history of Western theater. And a fun fact, they famously talked for 18 hours deciding the direction of the MAT in 1897. So Stanislavski and realism, okay? So this is more representational acting. Life, reality, okay? So you have a stimulus, you have an internal feeling about it, and then you external expression, which is the action. But the stage, okay, is secondary reality. We have a stimulus and you have the external reaction, or which is the expression of your action, and then you have the internal feeling. So you can feel it. You're inspired by something, you express it, and then other things it comes into your reality. You feel from the performance that you're giving. So given circumstances, the undeniably true facts provided by the playwright about characters. There's always relationships in characters, there's status in your characters, and there's power in your characters. There's always settings, right? There's time and space where you are. The contexts are always physical, psychological, or socioeconomical. Okay, so physical factors, right, of how you're embodying what you're doing. Then the psychological factors, like what does your brain think about, right, when you're presenting? And then socioeconomical factors is what's going on around us that can help contribute to our acting behaviors. So given circumstances, pressure, shape, affect, and influence your actions. So actions, they're very specific and they're immediate. They're transitive verbs in the infinite form. They consist with given circumstances, must compel action forward, and not emotions, conditions, or states of being. So if we're looking here, for example, my favorite, Miranda Peasley on the right, how her action is judging. Look at the other photos and what do we see? What are their actions giving? Let's go to the next scene. No. So objective, it's either simple or it's super. What are you fighting for? Look, Uta Hagen. The magic if I were this character faced with these circumstances, what would I do? And the obstacles, anything that gets in the way of the character achieving their objective. So again, everyone, you can pause this video or for yourself if you need to, and write things down as a team and then continue to play or rewind, you know what I mean? But this is for you to do right now, just to take some notes, understand, write. So I'm going to continue, but if you want to pause this, you're more than welcome to pause this and then write down stuff and then continue. So affective memory, ability to recall the sensory detail from personal events in order to achieve the physical reaction of authentic emotion. So psychophysical union is the mind and body are linked in a reciprocal relationship. Relaxed mind, relaxed body, and vice versa. Psychophysical union is the truth is that the mind and body are inseparable. Without the material of the living body, there's no mind. And without feeling, there's no true reason. So again, our memory helps us understand how we as our brain can authentically give out emotion. When we're remembering things, memory is feeling emotions of what we had taken from that. And then the psychophysical union is how that translates into our body. And our bodies which also experience things which help our mind remember things. So non-realistic acting styles, the method. Okay, so Grozov Stanislavski's 1922 visit to America, it places enormous emphasis on truthful emotions opposed to action. So this has been taught by Uta Hagen, Stella Adler, Lee Strasberg, Stanford Meisner. The most Hollywood actors have training in this style, and it's used very successfully in film. So this is something we can go and research later. Okay, the method acting. Think of that for a second. Even if you already know the answer, think of method acting. Just keep thinking. Poor theater. Jerzy Grotowski believed in theater that couldn't and shouldn't compete with other forms of styles of entertainment. Uses only the body in space, very few sets, props, black clothing only, and extremely athletic. So the difference in method acting, method acting can be used in poor theater. So the method is when you are using your experiences. Okay, so let's say I don't encourage anyone to smoke, but let's say the actor smokes. Okay, you need to, someone in method acting could try smoking to understand, okay, this is what they feel, this is how they embody that. This is what it kind of makes me feel like. Or method acting of someone who is a rock climber. Go rock climbing. You have to try it out. You have to experience it for yourself. You have to pretend, and truthful feelings need to come into you so you can actually act it out. In poor theater, there's no real extra elements that come into play where you have like sets and props. It's very minimal. It's very movement body based, right? Where you're really trying to express stuff through your body, and very bland, but it's room for interpretation from the audience. Then there's intercultural. Actors freely borrow styles and approaches from other forms of theater, creates a kind of cultural mixtape performance used often by Peter Brook. Here, this is called Throne of Blood by the Samurai Macbeth play. And it's fantastic where you can bring in cultural styles into any type of play, right? How can you take it on from a Chinese point of view, from an Indian point of view, from an Italian point of view, from a African point of view, from any type of Latin point of view, European, any type of point of view. You can kind of interconnect it for cultural ways. So it allows for other learners and other audience viewers to be engaged in what you're telling of a story in a different context or a different culture. But there's also cultural styles of performances, right? There's also different in different cultures, the way they present is also different. So I encourage you to go look some up. Then there's theater of the oppressed. Everyone has a monologue, right? A story, a voice, a point of view. Nobody's monologue is inherently more or less important than someone else. When a person is unable to voice their monologue, that is oppression. So think of that, oppression. You're not able to present yourself. Maybe you're feeling fearful, or you feel like you can't voice your opinion. That is oppression. Okay. And it's important that we are, as actors, kind of staying away from this. We want to be able to express our monologue. We want to be able to express who we are as a character. Now, the actor's process, auditions, okay? This is an awesome 3-minute headache, the least fair job interview you'll ever go on. 2 contrasting monologues, or 1 monologue and 1 song. And then it's about the performance of you. So when you're going to an audition, even though you have acting techniques, you know how to imitate someone, you've studied the lines, you've studied the song, you've done whatever, I promise you, in any audition, even though you're going to act as someone else or pretending to be someone else, what they're looking for is you, your true identity, how you are performing that. They actually don't care. They know the character. They know this is Roxy Hart. They know this is Velma. They know this is Danny from Greece. They know this is Rizzo from Greece. They know this is Harry Potter, whatever. They know the play. But what they're looking for is you and how you give that. So think that in mind, the self-identity, who we are, knowing ourselves, so we can be inspiring for others when we're performing. So knowing yourself is much more important than knowing the character, especially how you portray what you do to portray that character. Then there's going to be callbacks. Let's say you made the audition. Congratulations. Yay, finally, right? Because it's hard, right? To audition, there's so many people out there. You finally got one. Yay. That's not to discourage you or discourage you, everyone. Like you could be making many auditions, depending on what you're auditioning for, right? You can. There are very much good opportunities here, but a lot of people will hear, like, you will hear a lot of no's, you will hear a lot of no's, but you will also hear yeses, right? If get going out there, being proactive, going to those auditions, and then you're successful, then there's a callback where you'll have directed readings from the play being performed, typically read with a variety of different actors, directors watching for your ability to take and implement notes. And it's perfectly legal to discriminate in acting based on your gender, race, size, and physical appearance. So, of course, everyone can audition for everything, but if the vision is specific to something like this, unfortunately, this is what happens. This is what happens. However, it's not to say that they could say, you know what, I actually prefer to have a female character do this male character. They could be so inspired by you to change that. However, it is perfectly legal to not have someone because this is what we're looking for specifically. However, I still encourage you to always go to those auditions because who knows, they may be inspired by you and want to create that as an artistic way to incorporate in their new production. So always go to everything, always, always, always. Then you will go into the rehearsals. Professional rehearsal schedules are typically 40 to 50 hours per week, and at least for 2 to 3 weeks on depending on the production. At university rehearsals or other types of institutes, if we were like to be in a huge heavy acting program here, where we would do like consistent plays and performances. I know COVID's happening, but we would typically rehearse for 15 to 20 hours per week and for at least 6 to 8 weeks before we put on a huge show. The rehearsals are the rule of thumb are you rehearse for 1 hour for every minute of the show. So if it's a 90-minute play, you do 90 hours of rehearsals. 10,000 hours of continuous training to become an expert. That's what Gladwell says. So anything you do takes 10,000 hours and then you're an expert. Performances. If you're a full-time equity performance schedule, okay, so let's say you're doing live theater, okay, there's also ACTRA, which is a whole different thing for film. But if you're doing on stage a full-time equity performance schedule, it's usually 8 shows per week with 2 performances each Saturday and Sunday. And in like university, for what we would do here or in college, usually our productions are 1 to 2 weekends and you do double show days and they're relatively rare. And our last slide here is just like with directing and designing, an actor must read and analyze the script, identify actions within the script, analyze the given circumstance, ask the magic if questions that we saw earlier, find a connection between him, herself, and the character, memorize and interpret lines, as well as blocking where you're moving and going on in space or on the stage. And you're bringing the illusion of the first time to the stage for every performance, meaning you're thinking, how can I make everyone feel like this is the first time this has happened, even though you've done this however many times. It always is trying to bring that magic, that illusion, that believability to the stage. All right, everyone, again, you can rewind, pause on this for everyone to watch. Then after this, I'm going to stop my share, sorry. What I want you to do now, everyone, okay, is you know you need to do your scrapbook. I would love for this to be due in a week, okay? So a week to a week and a half maximum, but really start getting that scrapbook ready. Try to create. Right now, you can search for ideas and search for ways of, of a character and how you're going to create this scrapbook online. Let's try making it online. If you want to really do something physical, no problem if you want to be creative and artistic that way. But again, the reason why I'm saying doing it online is because it's easier for you to have more resources, media files, sound clips. You can add things for me to click and view. You can click something and can take me somewhere else, right? You can create a PowerPoint show that can have animations and different things like that for your character. So that's something I want you to think about right now. I do want you to take a 10-minute break and then come back in 10 minutes. And then during when you're in your break and then after that, I want you to think, and we may or may not present today, depending on time, but I want you to think of your scrapbook of how you're going to create it. And I also want you to write a fun little script for yourself on how to create a commercial. You are going to create a commercial and be a spokesperson where you're kind of presenting something now, right? In presentational acting, you're presenting a product and I want you to sell it. I believe we did this before. Oh, sorry. I believe we did this before, but I want us to be able to, I want us to be able to sell something, sell a product. I want you to be a different product, something that you don't think you would sell. One second. Sorry, everyone. My mom keeps calling me. Can you stop? I always tell her I work like, ay, caramba, love her, but stop. Anyways, so what you're going to be doing is creating a commercial, okay? A commercial for you, or not for you, that you are selling of some random object that you would never think to sell. Well, you can sell it. You can buy anything in this world. Something appropriate, nothing like too crazy and harmful, nothing like this, please. But I want it to be funny. I want it to be engaging. I want it to be comical. And this is just for us to practice. You're going to have a hook at the beginning, talk about something entertaining. Okay. I really want you to try this again and make it exaggerated, outblown, really sell like, oh, I want to buy this for sure. I want to be a part of this thing, or anything, even if it's like a theory, right? Sell me on a theory or an idea. Like, the reason why the sky is actually purple is for this. Like, convince me. You can even lie and make up facts. Do what you want. Make it outrageous. And I would really love it to be 2 minutes long. And you can have like certain fun ways to do it. If you want to create a video, right, just for fun, and like show the product or show something, add like flashes, or you can do it live and have fun that way. But I really want you to create a script and create ways of what you could do to be persuasive. Okay, how can you create something that's persuasive? So that's for your for today. This is what I want you to do, is think of your scrapbook ways to create something, and then also think for fun how you can sell me on an idea, a product, a person, place, or thing, or an idea, whatever you want. And how can you sell it? What is your presentation skills to show me that? What elements and support and evidence are you going to give me to really want to buy that? And please, when we do this, practice as much as you can so you don't say the word like, or it needs to be confident. You need to be so excited about what you're telling me, what you're giving me, why this is the reason. Facts, boom. It's persuasive writing, okay? Really persuade me, engage me, 1 to 2 minutes on a topic. When you're done that, trade with other people and start practicing and get ideas. Maybe you can add this, maybe you can add this, or I wouldn't say something like that, or add more of these things, add visuals, show products, show examples of what worked, give me comparisons, saying this, for example, iPhone over Android. Are you kidding me? Android breaks all the time, or iPhone does this all the time. Why not just go with this? Comparisons are always great. So that adds more evidence, more proof, and more believability, okay, and credibility. So everyone, I'm excited for you to do this. Again, one more time, scrapbook ideas you're doing, and you're writing this. The scrapbook is due in a week and a half, okay? And this is just for you to do. I would love to hear it on Wednesday when we're online. I would love for you to try to share your screens and create a commercial. So on Wednesday, for the people who are here, I want you to create, that's what you're doing. You're literally creating a commercial. Okay, due for this Wednesday coming up. Got it? You're creating a commercial online where you can either do it live or you can share your screen. I would suggest to try to figure out how you can share your screen and create a video. That way you can add fun little sayings like this much, boom, whatever. Like, right? You can even make like a TikTok, save it, and then do that, right? That's how you can make added elements. Create that for Wednesday. All right, everyone, have fun thinking of your scrapbook ideas, and also have fun thinking of your commercial ideas. And again, you can be yourself, being like, hello, my name is Emilio and I'm selling you this, or you can be a random character, right? Whoever you want. Persuasive writing. All right, everyone, good luck. And I'm going, after this video, if you have any questions, type it in the chat or text me. My number is obviously in the chat if you have any questions and you want to text me during this video. And thank you so much, everyone. Get to work.